Okay, so I'm going to lie down. And so why I really like this one is because it wouldn't hurt your back because you're not loading in and out with the discs forward and back. It's a side lying movement and it targets this area we call the waist, which is your obliques and of course your transab. So there are two sort of types of abdominal muscles. One set wrap around you this way and the other set are here on the front, okay? So understanding the direction of the muscles I think really helps. So there's a big sort of, it's like a corset of muscle coming around here, the obliques and the transab, and they're deep. Okay, so one goes that way and one goes that way and one sort of comes right around to here and obviously on the other side as well. Okay, so we're going to try and get them working, and this also really helps with the neck. So if you've got any neck problems, this is a really, like, probably the best exercise I've come across for the neck and the abs together, okay? Because often in Pilates, isn't it, you're on your back and you're lifting up like this and the neck hasn't been prepared, and so the neck gets really sore and overworked and doesn't know how to release its meaningless tension. Whereas in this exercise, we teach the neck how to contract and then release, contract and then release, okay? So all I'm going to do is lift up my head, release, lift, and I suppose the trick is you don't really want to go to the end range of movement. So I'm not trying to lift up as high as I can. I just lift my head up and down. Have a feel for the neck muscles. They join onto the sternum and they go right up to the back behind your ear, right up into the back of the base of the skull. Some very cool acupuncture points up in there. So you can feel the muscle nice and tense and tight. It's actually a very beautiful muscle, I think. Sternocleidomastoid. It's got a lovely name as well. Up and down. And up and down. Okay, relax. Now put your hands on your waist. And lift your head again. And notice how the waist contracts under your hand. And release. If you have your hand up on the ribs, you won't feel it. So it needs to be in that soft, fleshy bit between the hips and the ribs, which isn't that wide. Yeah, it's quite small. So up and down and up and down. So what I start to notice now is that the rest of my body is coupling in with this lifting of the head. Yeah, so other muscles are starting to help. And what I notice is the side ribs on the floor are pressing into the floor as I lift my head up. So it's like a seesaw, isn't it? The top of the seesaw is the head and the bottom are these side ribs. So I encourage the side ribs to press into the floor and then I lift them up. Side ribs down, lift them up. So I move my intelligence, my consciousness from my neck now into my side ribs. Okay, so side ribs down, head lifts, side ribs. And there's this really cool thing in body movement that wherever you put your consciousness, the body will sort of change the movement pattern and the muscles involved. So if you concentrate on the bottom ribs pressing into the floor, you'll be a lot less thinking about your neck. But it's still talking to me. I mean, I still feel it. It's not that I feel nothing. Okay, release and relax. Okay. Now I'm going to basically try and get my head to be like a passive weight. So I use my arm. I bring my arm over. I hold on to the opposite temple. Now, if this is too sore for your shoulder, don't do it. Like, okay, just lift your head without the hand again. Imagine you're lifting it with your hand. So if you can get your hand around and hold on to your temple, then lift up your head with your hand. Now, this is not a chiro move. You're not trying to get clicks or clacks. You're not trying to go to end range. You're just letting the head be a lump. And again, pushing the lower ribs down into the floor each time. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm shortening the top waist and I'm lengthening the bottom waist, which means I'm shortening one side of my body and lengthening the other side, which means I'm basically flexing my spine to the side. Side flexion of the spine, one of the best movements you can do for your body to keep it supple and to get lots of health into the spine and the organs attached, which is basically all the organs. Up and down. Okay, relax. I might roll onto my back, so roll forward and back a few times. So I like this little rolly movement. So I put the two palms of the hands together and then I just draw my hand along the lower arm. Just go back and forth a few times. Again, you know, I want my practice to be I want to connect into myself as I practice. I don't want to do this practice for any other reason than to really connect with myself. So this practice is not about weight loss, it's not about toning, it's not about any of those things. It's about being with yourself and opening up these energy centers inside your body, which is a lot more interesting, I can tell you, than weight loss and toning. And you can feel it as you gently touch along the inner arm. Let's go along the inner arm to the elbow, all the way up to the shoulder. The body rolls in a very relaxed way. Bring your hand across your clavicles, and you might be able to open out your arm. Sorry, my wall is in the way. Good, and then back the way you came. And these movements release tension from the neck. So I let my neck roll. Okay. Such a nice movement. Okay, so now we get back to our obliques, okay? So another way to strengthen the obliques is to, or fire them I should say as well, is to raise that top leg up, okay? So when you raise the top leg up, you want to keep sort of the hip and heel in line, okay? And not drop below that line, okay? So have a little look down and make your foot active, okay? Don't let your foot drop like a little mackerel at the end of your ankle. Keep it active, spread the toes and reach through the heel, okay? So that you get a little bit of action on this leg. So front thigh pressing to the bone, okay? And then I'll lift the leg up. Now the seesaw, the top of the seesaw is the foot, and the bottom of the seesaw is again this lower rib area. So I push that down and I find the leg will release up a bit more. Release. Push this down and up, down, up. So really trying to find that tiny, it's only a tiny movement. I mean, it depends on the size of your waist. I don't really have a waist. I'm a bit of a Lady Di body, I wish. But she had like no waist. I remember reading this article. So waist down, if you have one, waist down. It's not that it has to touch, mine does because I don't have a waist, but if you have a very narrow waist, it's just the direction. Just feel that there is a movement there. Good. Good. I don't know, I never count them. I always go to 18. 18, how many am I at? And release. Because I don't want it to be reps, because if it's reps, then you're into that sort of gym physio mindset, and I don't want to do that. I want to connect with my inner energy centers. So I'm going to go back for my rolling just a few times, just to make it really nice. And do not be fooled. This is one of them, like a fundamental movement for the body to twist and roll with gravity. So it really loosens out the shoulders, the upper body. Okay. Again, no pain, no pushing. Okay, now I'm going to join the two movements together. Okay. So now I've got a weird seesaw because there's two high bits and the middle is now this, so I'm sort of splitting myself in half here in the waist. And again, I'm going to really look for this downward direction. Okay, so I lift up my head, I lift up my leg, I make my foot active and my thigh muscle pressing to the bone, and then I lift up and down, up and down, trying to keep my mind in the feeling of the waist pressing to my floor, and then releasing it, waist, release. So don't get caught up with the head and the leg, because if I put my mind into my leg, then I'm going to start feeling my leg, and I don't want to feel it. Good, up and down. Don't yank. Again, you're not trying to chiro yourself. Okay, release. Beautiful. Okay, forward and back a few times. Boom, bitty boom. I just want to release all that tension. It's absolutely, totally allowed to enjoy your body movement, especially your Pilates. Okay, next one. What happens? Oh yeah, so we stretch, lift the leg up again, keep it at hip height, keep the hips stacked on top of each other. Okay, so here we're going to swing the leg forward without rolling forward. Okay, and point your toe and swing your leg back and don't roll back. And it's the abdominal muscles that hold. If you bring your leg back, just feel your waist, it'll be nice and firm, yeah? And that's the job of the obliques. So forward and back, So as the leg comes forward, the obliques release, and as it goes back, they grip on. So it's really important. A healthy muscle can release and knows when to tighten. Yeah, so you don't want these obliques on all the time. We just want them to be functioning properly. So forward and back. This is good for the hamstring. Forward and back. Quite an interesting movement. It fires up the glutes, of course. So if you hold it at back and feel your upper buttock, your glute will be engaged. Good. And release. Okay. Can we try the last one? So holding the head, lifting the leg, lifting the head, and I'm going to bring the foot forward and the head forward, and then leg back and the head back. Now this isn't a very big movement, but you get the idea. So this is a back bend, this is a forward bend, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, glute, hamstring, glute, hamstring. One more, and release. And then I'll roll back and I'll just rest on my back. Boom, boom, boom. So I do feel my outer hip, definitely. So I want the muscles to let go and release. Okay, I don't want them. There's no point in burning muscles, you know. Joseph Pilates knew that. He was a clever dude. No burning. If you burn your abdominal muscles, then they switch off for 24 hours. So you've got to sort of work within the limitations of the abdominal muscles. Okay, I'm going to turn around. You can turn around if you want. Probably better because you'll have a screen. Or you can, if you've got a little small screen, you can switch the other way. Okay, so I'll come to the other side. Okay. Alrighty, so, oh, jeebers. Where's my yoke in my wig? Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright, so start with the head again, because, you know, don't forget you'll have one strong side and one weaker side, most definitely. And don't be surprised if you hear little noises. This brings flexibility to the neck spine. Very good. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. So I can immediately feel I don't get tired on this side. I get tired on the other side. You might even notice already that your waist is shortening on the top and pressing into the floor. See, because we did it all quite slowly on the other side, we don't have to be quite so slow on this side, because it's like this side was watching the other side do it, so it kind of knows what to do. Okay, relax. Okay. Take the arm over, hold the head. Again, don't do that if it hurts your shoulder, just leave the arm down, and then we lift the head up and down. So here, of course, the neck muscles can switch off because the arm is doing the job. So let the shoulder work, shoulder blade down, waist down, and no strain, not overdoing it, enjoying that movement, squeezing the top waist, pressing the bottom waist to the floor. Wherever you want to put your intelligence, put it. Good. And release. Roll forward and back. Do, 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 do. Okay. Lovely. Now the leg. So put the hand on the waist. Take the leg up. Make my leg active. So if you make the arch of your foot a little bit hard, you can spread the toes and draw the toes up towards your face. That will get the foot active. And then front thigh pressing to the bone. So, you know, you're helping your leg to stay up. Okay, and then you can put the hand on the waist if you want, and then up and down. Again, feeling that seesaw idea. Lower ribs down, leg up. Whenever you start feeling this outer trochanter hurting, bring your mind to the waist and really just shift your intelligence. You know, sometimes I'll actually do this with my hand so that I can really identify with the muscle pattern I want to work, yeah? Because I don't really need my outer hip to get stronger. I need my waist muscles up and down, and release. Lovely. Forward and back, forward and back. Oh, that feels so good. Oh my God. I think I keep hitting the microphone when I'm doing this. Such a beautiful day. Okay. Back to the center. Okay. Now we'll join the head and the leg together. Okay. So up and down. So this just lets the neck muscles release. So I'm really thinking of that, pressing those waist muscles down into the floor. That's my primary concern. You could imagine you're a weird librarian and you're stamping your books with the side of your waist. This is hard. Good. And release. Good. Forward and back. So I'm just not able to do these exercises without them being hard. Because they are hard. If you do them right, they'll always be hard. And one thing I've noticed with these type of abdominal exercises is that actually the stronger you get, the harder the exercises get, which I think is really interesting. So they don't get easier, they get sort of harder because you do them better. Okay, lovely. Okay, and I'll do the kicky forward and back. Okay, so, sorry, bottom leg is bent, top leg is raised, and then I'll just kick it forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. This really repatterns the body as well. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Can create a nice little wind. So I like to get my toes involved, so I stretch to my heel here, and then here I lengthen my toes. I'm more thinking about the ankle actually, so flexing the ankle. This is also called, so here you have plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, yeah, but essentially you're pointing your toes, but try and put your mind in your heel, because it'll be way more interesting for your muscles. If you think of your heel, 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 okay, release. Forward and back. So just keeps the neck relaxed in between. The neck is like this weird beast that likes to contract and doesn't like to release and relax. I suppose it's keeping your head up all day long, in fairness. And everything goes through the neck, doesn't it? All our food, all our drink, all our air, everything goes through, so it's like, you know, super highway. Okay, last one. We lift up the head, we lift up the leg, and then we bring the head and leg towards each other. And then bring the leg and the head back. Good. Forward. I can't go back very far on this side. Shoulder injury. But it's a lot better than it was last week. I wasn't even able to hold my head. So this is cool. Forward and back. Again, don't hurt yourself. So forward and back. So let's say my shoulder's killing me. I'll just leave the arm out. It's actually probably really better. Forward and back. Forward and back. I notice my bottom leg is lifting up. It's to stop me tumbling over. That's all right. Forward and back. Good. And release. And relax. Come onto our back.